Hi, welcome to our panel on resilient leadership. So I'm Jesse Dyer. I'm the Director of Human Resources at W Aspen and author of The Emotional Experience and founder at emotionalexperience.org. So what I specialize in is emotional intelligence and emotions in leadership. So I'm really excited to be speaking with these incredible general managers here today and discussing resilience. So each of them brings a unique perspective on what it means to deal with and lead with resilience. And to begin this, I'd love for each of you to introduce yourselves and share an experience that shaped your leadership style.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Jesse, thank you. My name is Drew Conley. I'm the general manager of the Galleria Park Hotel in beautiful downtown San Francisco. I'm such an honor to be here. I think a really defining experience in my hospitality is growing up in a hotel. I come from a family of hoteliers. My first job was 15 years old working at the Greenbrier Hotel. And so it feels like family. It feels like the place that I grew up. And I want to create that for all the members of the hotel as I move forward.
Oh, that's amazing. Dasha.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Dasha Chayka, and I am the general manager at the TownePlace Suites Naples by Marriott in Florida. Do we have any Floridians with us today? Just a few. It's too cold for the Floridians, that's why. I would say that one of many experiences that shaped my leadership style was starting my upper management hospitality career during one of the most uncertain times in recent history. So my hotel opened on February 28th, 2020, a couple weeks before the rest of the world was shutting down. We remained open, but with only 8 people on our team to operate a 131-room hotel. So with that, I was, at first I was positive, and I was like, oh, it's fake news. 2, 3 weeks, we'll be fine. It'll go back to normal. It was a little bit longer than 2, 3 weeks, as we remember. So with that, I personally had to come in at, let's say, 7 a.m. for a front desk shift, and then make the coffee, refill the coffee, set up the breakfast, take down the breakfast, make the housekeeping charts, update the housekeeping charts. I mean, you kind of get the point. Help clean the rooms, run up and down the floors to update the charts for the housekeepers and the guests and everything like that. So I got to experience all the fun of being a manager within the first few weeks of a new role at a new hotel with a new team in a completely new situation nobody was familiar with. And then after that, I had to hire and train a completely new team, which was the first experience for me as well. And that taught me social awareness and emotional intelligence and the ability to train others with different learning styles. And I learned that leadership is not just guiding others, but also being willing to do the work by their side, especially when it's hard.
Hi there. My name is Anita Paas. I'm the general manager at the Home2 Suites in Flower Mound, Texas. Do I have any Texans here? Oh, yes, there we go. Next question. Do I have any Australians here? No, no. Okay, well, my leadership style I really goes back to my upbringing in the Australian outback. So obviously this isn't a Texan accent, but I was born and raised in a small country town, and my parents were in the healthcare industry. So I learned from them at a very young age about caring for people, and that's really what has influenced my leadership style. I really think that I lead with empathy, with heart, and with caring based on that upbringing. And when I teach that to my team, it really resonates to our guests and they always feel taken care of. And that's me. Thank you.
Wow, what a great panel today. This is very exciting. So let's look at resilience as a foundation. So, what does that really mean? This question's for Drew. How do you define resilience in leadership?
Thank you, Jesse. And thinking about this question for some time, I think a story does it the most justice. In 2020, I was working for a large resort and condo hotel in the mountains of Lake Tahoe as the pandemic descended upon us. And I know for this room, COVID is a 4-letter word. I feel the same way, but it still is a defining period in our industry. And it's when I really grew to understand what resilience means. It's a permanent mark on me. So, as it happens, with the lockdown protocols in California, we went from a team of about 500 down to 15. Through that, we had a few families from San Francisco had come up to the hotel to ride out the storm in their second homes. And it developed into sort of a shipwreck dynamic. We were all survivors on a far-flung island trying to make some normalcy out of chaos of that. And we became very close. It became truly a community out in the snow in Tahoe. And some of those people are still some of my closest friends and colleagues till this day that we still keep in contact with that. Well, in that situation, after some time, one of the owner couples who'd been dating for about 10 years decided that they didn't want to wait anymore. So they came to us on how they could seal the deal, how they could tie the knot and get married in that circumstance. So we got together as our little skeleton leadership team and came up with converting our fine dining restaurant into a little makeshift chapel. So we moved all the chairs out of the way. We pulled the arbor out of our banquet storage room. We hung string lights throughout the dining room of the fine dining restaurant. And then we watched from a distance. There was 40 feet of snow outside, and we had the COVID protocols inside, as those two declared their love for each other and sealed the knot right there in front of us. It was one of the most poignant memories from that time and in my career. And I think it really gets to the heart of what hospitality is, and that's making meaning for others. Doesn't matter the circumstances, the conditions that you're in, the resources that you have, to find a way to serve others. And if you can follow that basic tenet, when you're not sure what to do, let that guide you. Let service to others be your guide, then resilience follows. And through that, we can get through just about anything.
Oh, it's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. So we often think of resilience as strength, but vulnerability is often what makes that strength real and human. So this question's for Anita. What role does vulnerability play in how you lead and connect to your teams?
That's a great question. I'm feeling kind of vulnerable right now. This is the first time I've been on stage, so bear with me, folks.
You're doing great.
So I really do think that vulnerability is one of the most powerful tools a leader can have in their toolkit. So with saying that, we're constantly navigating the guest experience with guests, with teams and challenges. And that means showing up as humans ourselves. So vulnerability, I really feel, looks like being approachable, being honest, and sometimes saying, I don't have all the answers, but let's work together and try and figure it out. One of the most meaningful parts of my job is developing people. And over the past year, I've had the privilege of developing 3 new leaders. Each have come to me with drive and with heart, but also moments of doubt and growing pains. And in these moments, I didn't just give them direction. I gave them space to ask questions, space to stumble and to learn. And they've also seen me stumble as well. And from that, that's built trust. So recently, my executive housekeeper came to me. She was frustrated because she felt some of her team members were moving slow and she was going to be behind on her boards. And instead of jumping straight into solutions with her, I asked her to just take a step back and pause and go and check in with her team, find out what's happening, not as workers, but as people. And what she found out was eye-opening. 2 of her team members were struggling with personal challenges. She listened to their stories, and instead of just responding with empathy, she rolled up her sleeves and jumped in there with them. She helped them finish their boards. They got everything clean and ready on time for our guests. But the biggest thing that she learned there was empathy and really understanding when people are vulnerable that you have to jump in and help. So really, for me, vulnerability is about connection, creating those important connections, and it gives people permission to be real and just be people, speak up and grow. And what really what leads in that place is empathy and openness. So our teams have become resilient, and not just because they can push through difficulties, but because they know they're not alone and we're all in it together. Thank you.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. So this question's for Dasha. Have you ever seen resilience grow out of vulnerability with your team? And what did that look like?
Absolutely, Jesse. 2 moments stand out. So 2 hurricanes, 2 Category 4 hurricanes, Hurricane Ian in 2022, and then Hurricane Milton in 2024. Both of those were extremely vulnerable times, not just for me and my team, but for our entire community. All of Naples was flooded. A lot of the houses on the coastline were no more for a lot of our community. And a lot of the hotels in the area closed. And we had the option. The owners did give us the option, like, you can close. It's going to be challenging. But, I'm Ukrainian, so we accept challenges, right? So the challenge accepted. No, we're going to stay open, and not just for our guests, but we created a safe haven for each other, for the guests, of course, for the first responders, and everybody else who needed a safe refuge. It definitely was a challenge. So we ran the hotel multiple days without power and without the systems. And we had guests, fun story, guests coming in, lights are out, it's black, it's dark. They come in, oh, do you guys have electricity? No. Oh, but the elevators are working, right? Oh, but the AC is working, right? But the chargers are working, right? No. So you can choose to stay if you have nowhere else to stay, because every hotel was closed, or you have a choice. So we needed a lot of patience with our team. But with that also, we came together and improvised and supported one another, because we couldn't make keys. So we had to take our guests up and down 6 flights of stairs every time they wanted to come out of the room, go back into the room, help them with their luggage, their pets, their kids, and everything else in between, right? And those experiences revealed the true depth of resilience for me. And vulnerability didn't weaken me and my team. It united us and gave us strength to rise together. I saw my team transform under that pressure, because they left their own homes, their own families to support others during that time. And I'll never forget their courage and compassion for what they did.
Oh, what a great answer. Thank you. So resilience is something we build over time, sometimes through experience, sometimes through the lessons that don't come easily. So this is a question for Drew. What's one lesson about resilience you wished you learned earlier in your career?
All right. Thank you, Jesse. I think one lesson I'd learned earlier in my career is that hope isn't naive. It's really strategic. After any cataclysm, whether it's a recession, a pandemic, even an owner change in a hotel, it levels the playing field. It leaves an opportunity to become better, to regrow, to redefine yourself from that time. And that's really what differentiates organizations, is how they channel that hope into action and into a strategy after that. Before the pandemic, Galleria Park, where I come from now, had been a lovely but unremarkable hotel. It was one of 263 hotels in San Francisco, doing well, but wasn't really at the top of the pack, sort of the middle. And during COVID, almost every hotel closed down for an extended period of time in the city. But with the support of ownership and Coral Tree Hospitality, we were able to maintain benefits for a lot of the staff through that time. It kept the team engaged, that kept the team connected to the hotel and able to outlast the storm as with everyone else. And because of that, we were poised in a better position when it was time to come back, when it was time to regrow. So we were able to move further, faster than the other members of the team. Since then, we've had to create a new star and move into it because the set that we'd had since 2005 just wasn't adequate anymore. We were indexing over 200, so we had to find really the best in our weight class to now contend with, to now benchmark ourselves with, engage performance. We're 17th in TripAdvisor, and we're competing with true luxury hotels. In the star now, we're considered luxury technically just because of the ADRs that we're now commanding. We've grown much further past what we thought we were able to as a limited service hotel. And in this year, San Francisco is finally coming back. RevPAR growth this year for us is around 20%. So we're at the forefront of an incredible turnaround for an incredible city. And we were able to do that because we've kept our team engaged, used hope as a tactic, and moved forward quickly when it was time to. It reminds me a little bit as In prehistoric times, after the dust settled from the meteorite striking, the lemurs of the forest, that's right, lemurs, big eyes and long tails, looked around and realized that all the dinosaurs were gone. All of a sudden, they were on the same rung of the food chain as many of the other mammals in the forest, so that they could decide what to do with that freedom, where they would live, how they would thrive, how they would move forward from there. Our transformation wasn't luck. It was a concerted effort. It was a plan. It was the hope and the future and the culture of believing in our team. And that's the lesson that I most wish that I had learned at that time. It's that it's about transformation. At Galleria Park, we became the first lemur to climb out of the forest. And since then, that change is our defining characteristic. Thank you.
Wow, it's amazing. Thanks, Drew. So, a big part of resilience is the ability to stay empathetic and hold people accountable, especially when the pressure is high. So, this question's for Anita. What's your approach to balancing empathy and accountability when your team is under pressure?
Great question. Thank you. I'm sure we can all agree that there is a lot of pressure in hospitality and it ebbs and flows depending on what's happening on any given day. So I've learned the best way to lead my team is with heart and clarity. Empathy and accountability aren't opposites. They're really two sides of the same coin. When you balance them, people feel safe to stretch, grow, and deliver their best. Picture this. I'm sure you've all been there. It's 3 p.m. on a Friday. The lobby's buzzing. The phones are ringing. We've got a few rooms left to sell. Housekeeping is racing to finish their boards. Engineering's trying to fix all of the air conditionings. Summer in Texas, if an AC goes out, it's a disaster. And the front desk are juggling check-ins like a pro. Everyone knows the goal. Great guest experiences and the perfect sell. But that kind of performance doesn't come from pressure alone. It comes from trust. My team knows that they can speak up. If they're falling behind, there's no judgment. We're all there to help each other. Engineering knows how vital they are, and the front desks have the freedom to really be creative, meaning that maybe you're signing someone up for Hilton Honors membership or you're giving a complimentary upgrade to get those final rooms sold and get the perfect sell. So we've recently started a perfect sell bonus program. When we hit 100% occupancy, every single hourly team member who was working that day shares in the reward. It's less about the money and really more about working together as a team and having that shared purpose. Everyone's in it together. And when things get tough, and we all know it does, I make a point to stay calm and grounded because my team mirror how I am. And, empathy really sounds to me more like, what do you need to succeed? And accountability sounds like, here's where we're headed, and I believe that we can all get there. That's really real resilience for me. And it's not just bouncing back in tough times, it's really rising together. So thank you.
Oh, I love that about the 100% occupancy. What a great idea for that recognition. Thank you. So, true leadership is about developing others, helping the next generation build their own kind of resilience. This question is for Dasha. How do you model or teach resilience to emerging leaders in your organization?
I model resilience by leading with consistency, optimism, accountability, and faith. Faith in God, faith in the people around me, and faith that even the most difficult seasons are shaping us for something greater. My team knows that giving up is never an option. There's always a solution that can be found. Everything is possible, but it might take some creativity and collaboration to get there. An example of that would be going back to the first hurricane in 2022, which was our first experience, and we had no idea what we're doing. Everything was down, no Fosse, no PMS, no computers, nothing. So we had to come up from scratch with nothing to print, a system that was manual, pen and paper. We called it a color Bible because it was highlighted different colors if it was a stayover or check-in or check-out or vacant room, etc. And so with that, we had to be creative. We had to go up and down the floors to knock on doors and talk to people. Are you staying? Are you coming? Are you going? Who are you? But we made it. And then I also believe that resilience doesn't just happen in the moment, and it is built through a proactive management style. I believe in looking ahead, and preparing the team before the adversity strikes. So with the second hurricane, we definitely learned from the first one. So we don't have the main generator, but we did invest into a small generator to at least run the server room, the systems, the chargers for the guests, the lights, and even the Christmas lights that we had to hang from. It was in October, just for reference. We had to hang the Christmas lights from top to bottom in the staircases because, well, obviously it was unsafe. And we purchased extra flashlights, which we did not have the first time. Super fun. So I believe that I also encourage the emerging leaders to see that every challenge is a growth opportunity and not a setback. Resilience is cultivated in environments where people feel free to try, to fail, to learn, and to rise again.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. So, thinking about the next generation for newer GMs or up and coming leaders, I see some of our emerging leaders here. Nice to see you again. This is a question for all panelists. So, whoever wants to jump in first. What's one habit, mindset shift, or piece of advice you'd pass along to help them build strong, engaged teams?
Jesse, I'd like to kick it off if I can.
Yeah.
I think just a focus on ego as the enemy of resilience. Adaptability, empathy, change are all encumbered by it. It's a big stumbling block for all of us, and it's a difficulty, especially in times of great need. So locate, identify ego, kill it, and then repeat. Do that over and over again so it doesn't get in your way.
Amazing. Thank you.
So for me, I would say if I could leave you with one thing, it's lead with curiosity, always. So don't just be focused on your day-to-day tasks. You need to learn your people, learn who they are, what makes them tick, so you can help guide them better. So really, strong teams aren't built through policies. They're not built through procedures. They're built through presence. Those small moments, the quiet check-ins, the celebrations together, that's where it's built. So stay open, stay humble, and keep learning. That's the kind of leadership that lasts, and it's the kind of leadership that inspires others to lead. Thank you.
The advice that I would give is love what you do and let that love show. In hospitality, where every interaction matters, leading with positivity and excitement makes all the difference. When you approach your work with joy and purpose, it changes everything. It becomes contagious. Your teams feel it, your guests feel it, and the culture that you build reflects it as well. I believe that everything is easier when approached with positivity and enthusiasm. Because that energy builds trust and it inspires people to take that extra step and to go the extra mile for others. When combined with kindness, empathy, and integrity, even when no one is watching, it creates a team that is not only strong, but also is connected to the mission. At the heart of it all is authentic leadership. When you show up to work, when you show up with love for your work and care for your people, you build a team that thrives, and not just in their purpose and their performance, but also in their spirit.
Oh, thank you so much. We do have a couple extra minutes. Are you okay if we throw to the audience a couple questions? We've got this great panel here. Let's really take advantage of this knowledge. I'll come down and bring the mic to you. Does anyone?
Dasha will be happy to answer any questions.
Dasha loves this.
Anita,
Oh,
Anita has more experience.
So nice of you. Thank you. I had this fear I was going to fall down the steps and I go on YouTube or TikTok. So this is great. Thank you. Oh, it's not working? Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions? You, sir, you look so dashing and damper in your blues. What question do you have for this team?
That's just me.
That's true.
That's me.
So when Dasha was great in talking about emergencies, and I've witnessed firsthand on how she managed emergencies. What in the past you've talked about things that have influenced you? How has that changed what you're going to do for the future to prepare for what's coming next, whatever that might be?
That's a great question. I'm thinking about all the natural disasters that I've been through as well. I've been through the hurricanes, but I learned, just like Dasha was saying, from the first experience. So when I first moved out to Texas, we had one of the worst ice storms I'd ever experienced. It shut the city down. People were without power for almost a week. And my hotel was during COVID. We went from 10% occupancy to 100% occupancy in 10 hours. So imagine that you don't have enough supplies for everyone, but you have people that need warmth and they need somewhere to stay. So what I learned from that is always be prepared. Even if you're trying to save money and not have things, extra things on hand, make sure that you do. We managed to get through it. My team were absolute joy and kept positive throughout that entire time, even though we were freezing and we were out shoveling snow with soil shovels instead of snow shovels, and really just trying to make our guests feel safe and welcome, but learning from experience. Just like Dasha said, you go through one of these natural disasters once, and then you make sure that you're prepared the next times.
Oh, thank you so much. What a great question. Yeah, in the blue. Yeah, that's great. Just pass that mic.
Hey, Drew. Just interested, you went into a situation that had some turnaround opportunities. You were in the middle of the pack. Oftentimes change management can be the enemy. And I just was wondering, how did you implement or how did you execute a mindset of overcoming the objection of we never did it that way before, or this, that doesn't work, or that's not going to work, those types of challenges that you face in that kind of environment?
Yeah, I think in every environment where there's change management and long tenures, that can be an issue. And it's not any one thing, but it's a lot of small things. Get as much of the team as possible involved in every decision. Have everybody be a stakeholder to where they're invested in the outcomes, and celebrate those small wins. As we crept up in rank from fourth place to third place in our comp set to second to first, communicate that and attribute it exactly to what the team's efforts are doing. So we're all rising up together. We are all supporting each other in every department. Every person in the organization is responsible and accountable for that success. But it's not easy. But even some of the holdouts, the longest tenured employees, will come along once you can prove the success of the new way and bring them with you. Thank you.
Oh, what a great question. We have time for one more for Dasha. Anyone got a Dasha questions? Who's got a question for Dasha?
Going once, going twice, going thrice, done.
There we go, right over there in the corner. Thank you so much. Hands up.
It doesn't have to just be for you. But in this industry, we struggle a lot with retention. There's the turnover rates are just insane, and it feels like it doesn't matter what we do, we're still churning and burning, and not in the good way. So what are some things? I feel like it comes a lot from leadership, and it comes from building a culture of kindness and how we take care of each other. Is there any tips that you have for leaders on retention?
I'll take this one. We have I'll brag a little bit about our retention. I have a 92% retention for the staff that's been with me from 3 to 5.5 years, and the remaining few percent have been with me for over 2 years out of 32 associates. So the way that I do it, I always say, even in every interview, that trust is our number one cornerstone, I guess, or baseline. So if there's no trust amongst the team, there's negativity, gossip, backstabbing, and so on and so forth. It's never going to work, right? And then general appreciation, and the team has to feel that you have their back. Doesn't matter if it's to the ownership, to the management company, to the brand, to whoever. They need to feel that you have their back, and that really does go a long way. I kind of learned that the hard way from where I came from previously to this hotel, because I've had managers that would tell you what to do, and you do it exactly how they told you, and then the guest is like, oh, that's not good enough, and they come out and they're like, oh yeah, no, that's wrong, I'm gonna do this for you. And I was like, well, that's not how I'm gonna treat my team. So I learned a lot from previous experiences of what to do or not to do, but really just general sense of appreciation. We have quarterly parties for people, with raffles and gift cards and games and catered food and you name it. And even something just like that goes a long way as well.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. perfect timing. If you could please join me in thanking this incredible panel, sharing their insights. Make sure to add them on LinkedIn. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you.